You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, bonjour, sanbonani, good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us once again. If it's your first time with us, welcome to 702. I wish you all the best with all your plans that you have today. The 702 open line starts now on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. How hectic are these news about the former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga? He died in India, according to reports, at the age of 80. We're told that he was undergoing treatment in India. I'm sure we'll get some more details throughout the day as to what really transpired there. Congratulations to our boys, Bafana Bafana. Well done to them. Well done to Hugo Bruce. What a brilliant game yesterday. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Beating Rwanda 3-0. Thank you to the players, but also thanks to you for the prayers and the positive vibes, and all whatever that you managed to do to make the pots. Basically, what matters now is we are back on the world stage, and we officially qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which will be in the US. So get your visas ready if you're a big soccer fan. How did you find the game though? How do you feel as well about our readiness and competitiveness on the world stage? Do you think we stand a chance? And where do you think we'll get up to at the World Cup? Are we going to see it through right until the end? What are your thoughts? Give me a call or send me a WhatsApp voice note right now. Also, it's been how many years now? 23, 24 years since Bafana Bafana last qualified for a FIFA World Cup. And things have changed. The world is a different place now. We gained automatic entry into the 2010 World Cup as hosts. But it's almost exactly about 23 years or so since Bafana Bafana wrapped up their qualification for the 2002 World Cup. So it's been so long, my friends. It's been so long. Many players in the current squad, I bet you they were probably infants at the time, the last time we qualified. And perhaps some were not even born when the country last managed that feat. So we have AFCON later this year, the World Cup next year. Let's keep the faith and keep wishing our boys really well. But please let me know how you found yesterday. And how hopeful are you that we can really push up to the last stages at the World Cup? I do think that it's going to get tough for us. There are much stronger teams, but we've been getting back. We've been getting back as South Africa, and I hope that they will demonstrate this confidence and resilience even on that world stage at the FIFA World Cup next year. Suspended Deputy Police Commissioner General Shadrack Sibiya is done with his testimony at the parliamentary inquiry. Senzon Kunu, do you say suspended or police minister on leave? Well, whatever you choose to go with, he's going to take the hot seat tomorrow. Now, having heard what Shadrack Sibiya had to say over the last 2 days, what are your impressions of him? What are your impressions of what's going on in the SAPS? Are you convinced by what he said? How he defended himself against the allegations made against him? Because he was warning yesterday that MPs must not believe everything General Mkhwanazi said, because they will create a monster that they can't control.
If today I can stand up and go and call that press conference, I also used, at some point in my life, I also wore camouflage uniform. Maybe I should also wear one, go make a conference as well and talk things. But I will be fired from the podium same time. That day, on stage, doing that, I'll be gone. But some people, because they've got a very powerful social media that they have invested in, every TikTok that you open, no police official is allowed to do what General Mkhwanazi is doing. No provincial commissioner you will see on TikTok. He's the only one that campaigned and funded on TikTok. And this wins all the South Africans. You touch Mkhwanazi, you touch us. But he's a policeman. So I'm just saying there are a lot of things that are wrong that we are supporting as a country. And we're creating a monster that no one is able to control.
He also says that Mkhwanazi held that press briefing on July 6 because he was angered by the arrest of his ally, Dumisani Khumalo.
General Khumalo got arrested. That angered General Mkhwanazi to an extent that he sent a message to one of his friends, colleague, that says, can I proceed there? No. He sent a message of a song of Tupac that says, I'll kill them at night when they're sleeping. Now, he was so furious. And then even General Maumela, to an extent that I began to hear that they feel that I have something to do with that arrest. I ended up calling the National Commission and saying, NASCOM, I don't know about this arrest. Nobody knew. I didn't even expect it because this thing is something that happened within CI. The National Commissioner then said to me, no, you wouldn't have known about this arrest because it's something that happened within CI.
Yeah, that's what Shadrach Sibiya said. But the question really is, was he convincing in his defense? I'm interested in your thoughts. I don't think I'm sold necessarily on the explanation he gave around the disbandment of the political killing sus team. I just think he's too entangled with problematic characters who were being investigated by the TAS team, i.e. Ket Matlala. And he was friends with Ket Matlala's friends. So all of this makes it difficult for me to believe that the disbandment was done with good intentions. And yes, there's no evidence yet that shows that he was getting some kinds of benefits from people like Brown Mkhwanazi or Ket Matlala. But the way Ket Matlala moves, according to the messages we've seen, is problematic. And the fact that he's been meeting with this guy and he was still getting to know him is questionable for me. The fact that he's friends with Serge Kabonge, a business associate of Ket Matlala, is weird to me. But I do think that he has demonstrated, and what he has demonstrated over the last 2 days is that we are dealing here with factionalism in the SAPS. Right? And maybe that helps us as a nation because there's an opportunity here to clean house and review certain ways that this institution is structured and how it operates. But given what we've heard so far from Mkhwanazi, Masemola, Sibiya, what they've said about each other, I agree with what Gogo Machikri said just yesterday, that the country is clearly not in safe hands. What are your thoughts? I'll take your calls and WhatsApps. Also, President Cyril Ramaphosa, are you convinced about what he said yesterday and his explanations around why he found himself outside the house of Hangani Maumela? He confirmed yesterday when he was in Parliament, in the National Council of Provinces, that he has met Hangani Maumela. Even though, and I don't know about you, but the impression that I've gotten, even from his spokesperson during his briefing this week, was that the president doesn't know this guy. Well, here's what the president said yesterday.
There this young man comes out and he says, hello, Ramaphosa. My mother is here. Can you say hello to her? And I say, who is she? He says, it's Hangani Maumela. Now, when I was at school in Papuli High School with my then wife, Hope Mudau, her brother was also there. And later I got to know that this Mboneni and this, my wife's brother, my former wife's brother, they hooked up. And as they hooked up, they had a child. And this is now Hangani Maumela, whom I did not know. But I know his mother because we were at school together. So he says, my mother is here. Can you say hello to her? And she's coming out of the yard towards the main gate. And then she's wearing a gown, a morning gown. And I immediately say, I can't allow her to come into the street with a morning gown. And I go towards the gate and I greet her and I say, how are you? How have you been? That's the sum total of it all. And I walk away. Now, when I walk around, I'm often greeted by people.
Okay. So that's what the president says, right? So this chap, Hangani Maumela, just came out of the house at the exact time that the president was passing by with his daughter. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. It's possible that it's a coincidence. It's also possible that it's not. It's possible that the president knows this chap, but he's not involved in his alleged illegal activities. But yeah, it's just interesting how this has been positioned throughout. But you've had the explanation from the president. What do you think?
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Gunza, how's it, bruh? You should have opened your show today by saying that now Pirates actually got us to the World Cup. If it wasn't for Pirates players, we would never ever have achieved our dreams. Good morning.
Yeah, that's true. Remember when a lot of the players from Sundowns were fielded in Bafana Bafana? Now Sundowns fans were like, yeah, if it wasn't for us. So yeah, you're right. If it wasn't for us, Pirates, yeah, I don't know if we would have qualified for the World Cup. So thank you, Pirates.
Good morning, Clement. Congratulations to Bafana Bafana. And thank you to Orlando Pirates for sending us to the FIFA World Cup.
Morning, Clement. Congrats to the team. To our boys played very well. I feel like sometimes if it's your time, it's your time. No matter the 3 points taken away from us, but I feel like it was our time. I feel like Team Benin was going to be really unfair for them to qualify. Anyway, happy for them. Good luck next year. I'm hoping for at least the quarterfinal, semi-final. Thanks, Bongani.
Yeah, hey, Tebza. Yeah, I wonder.
Thanks, Clement. Sorry.
I wonder though, can we get to like the quarterfinals? Like, I mean, realistically speaking, how far do you think we can go at the World Cup? At the rate that our players are playing now and at the rate of the other very competitive and powerful teams out there. But hey, let's keep the faith.
Morning 702. Ike speaking from Bramberg. Yes, Clement, I just want to put it on record. It's so interesting. Yesterday, in my entire 25 years in South Africa, yesterday was the first day I ever hear South Africans praying for Nigeria to win their game. Very interesting. Icon. I want it to be put on record. In fact, this thing is supposed to enter South Africa Guinness Book of Record. For South Africans praying for Nigeria to win their game. Hey, nice one. We are going to America, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, we needed Nigeria to beat Benin. Oh, and they thrashed Benin. 4-0 was the score. But yeah, we needed that. For us to get into the World Cup, we needed that favor from Nigeria, and they delivered. But it's so funny that a lot of South Africans were behind Nigeria and praying for them to win, if you understand the context of often these soccer fans and how they often respond and approach Nigeria. It's 22 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Your calls on 011-883-0702. Adrian, you are in Pretoria North. Good morning. What do you want to say about Shadrack Sibiya's testimony?
Hi, Clement. How are you there?
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Clement, I just want to deposit something quickly there. I think Shadrach Sibiya was raising a valid point. And unfortunately, people have prejudices against him, and they are not taking him serious. But the issues he was raising, they are very valid. For instance, he tells us that the political test team has used close to 500 million in budget. That's too much, Clement. Number two, he tells us that even the members of the PKTP themselves are corrupt. Because at some point, the people that cases have been opened against them. He raises the issue that those dockets are just lying there. Before the dockets were even confiscated from the task team, what were they doing? What has been done about them? He raises the issue that, okay, why do we have a task team that is focused on KZN alone when murders are just happening across the breadth and length of South Africa? So these are valid points that the guy was raising, but unfortunately, we have prejudices against it.
But also, he should have asked the president that. I mean, this is a specific. I mean, when Adrian, whatever you do to compare the political matters across the country, no province compares to KwaZulu-Natal. That is the province where the worst political killings are taking place. Hence, there was a whole commission into political killings. The recommendation was that we've got to do something, and the president decided that, okay, we do need a task team like that. So if Shadrach Sibiya wants another task team in Mpumalanga or anywhere else, that's something he can motivate for. But you don't want to be questioning the intention of the political killing task team in KwaZulu-Natal when the facts are there. Most politicians get killed in KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, I do agree on that. But now the question is, why is it that the dockets were still lying idle before they were even taken? These are points that Sibiya raised, and nobody is even asking him.
There are 160 or so prosecutions, or out of the 200 and what dockets that were open, I think the police had said 160 of those cases were finalized. There are arrests that have been made as well. So when we say lying idle, what do we actually mean by that?
Okay, given, I do admit on that, but here's the point. The guy is saying to South Africans, gentlemen, let's be fair. Was it proper for Mkhwanazi to then accuse the guy without hard evidence of Sibiya influence in prosecution? Where is the chat with him and Kat or whoever saying where Sibiya says, no, I'm going to shield you, I'm going to protect you from this?
That's where I agree with you. That's where I agree with you, Adrian, because remember, General Mkhwanazi at that briefing said, I don't shake hands with criminals. Remember at the briefing. And yet, when he was asked in Parliament, is there evidence that Sibiya is corrupt? And he said, we don't know yet. At this point, there's no evidence. But we are still scraping for gold. We're still checking to see if there's any evidence that suggests that Sibiya may be a criminal. So, yeah, Adrian, I've said this from the beginning and people were unhappy about it. I've continued to say it because I stuck to it because I believe it. I think we are watching top cops fighting each other and we are the ones that suffer. This is about factionalism in the SAPS. These things happen a lot. And unfortunately here is that there are people who have chosen that they're good and bad. Right? From the beginning, I was saying that there are people fighting each other because there are certain positions that must be allocated in the SAPS or even broadly in the criminal justice system. And what you are dealing with now is when police fight each other, they use state resources. Look at what happened with Dumisani Khumalo. They somehow found something he's done wrong, what they believe, like IDEC. And then what happens? He gets arrested. Mkhwanazi gets upset about it because there's a faction here, like I explained yesterday. You can tell Dumisani Khumalo, Fanima Semula, Mkhwanazi are on the one side. General Sibiya, Senzo Mkhunu are on the other side. So Dumisani Khumalo gets arrested. The other team gets angry. Now they have to fire back. Now they come back and they reveal what they've revealed. Thank God, because now we understand more about Ket Matlala and the conversations that he's had with other people. Now they are fighting back. So these people are fighting each other. The country is the one that's suffering. It is. So, Adrian in Pretoria North, thank you. Let's hear from the other listeners. Benny, you are calling us from Braamfontein. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Clement, good morning.
Hey,
congratulations to Bafana, but I'm not going to comment on them. You know what, Clement, it is sad what we are being subjected to on the national TV.
Mm-hmm.
I've been following this ad hoc committee, and I just want to say to you, Clement, we don't have the people with the necessary skills and the capacity. When Ramaphosa was talking about the capacity and stuff like that, it is there in the open. You listen to the line of questioning, the manner in which questions are being asked, because the purpose of the ad hoc committee was to find out as to whether there is interference in the police force, and based on what Mkhwanazi said on the 26th. So what is playing out here right now? You look at the poster of Kusela Diko, you look at the poster of Nduli from the ANC. Those guys, they come at the tail end of the presentation, and what they do what we can call it re-examination of Sibiya, because Sibiya messed up in terms of testimony. He could not take the committee into confidence in terms of answering the questions. So when you become a member of a committee of parliament, or whether provisionally or locally, you take off your political head, you become a member of that committee, and you hold the executive accountable. So what they were doing yesterday, you look at them, at Kusela and Nduli, they were trying to clean up the mess created by Sibiya.
What do you mean by that, Benny? What did they do to suggest that?
I'm going to tell you, because Sibiya was so evasive in terms of answering questions, and Sibiya was trying to play a victim card. And the reason why
what did they do wrong, Benny?
Come again?
What did Nduli and Kusela do wrong yesterday?
What I'm saying, if you follow what we call examination in chief, and then you put your witness on the stand, and then your witness does not, for example, testify in terms of your preparation, and in one way or the other mess up, then you come back after the re-examination of the witness as the lawyer to your client. Then you start trying to make good of what he messed up. So what I'm saying, when you look at...
Like what? Benny, I think it could help us for you to give us a practical example and say, for instance, Mtumiseni Ntuli said to Shadrach Sibiya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that gave Shadrach Sibiya an opportunity to change his story and fix the mistake that he made. But now you're making a general statement, so that's why I'm lost. Because I do remember at some point, Mtumiseni Ntuli told Sibiya that you have actually been evasive. You haven't been responding directly to the questions that we ask throughout this Q&A. You've actually, which was true. There are instances where he doesn't directly respond to the questions. So what exactly did they do? Give me a practical example, like I'm giving you an example of what Mtumiseni Ntuli, so that we get your point.
Okay, Clement. I might not on the top of my head, but what I'm saying, the line of questioning, the manner in which they were questioning, were at variance with what other members of the committees were. They were not probing. What they were doing, they were leading Sibiya, and then what Sibiya was saying was yes, is correct, and they moved on.
Okay, all right. If someone picked that up, please let me know. Maybe that's something I didn't pick up yesterday. Did you find that the ANC MPs were trying to somehow fix what appears, at least according to this listener, a disastrous testimony from Shadrach Sibiya? Let me know if you agree with that. I'm a bit lost there. It's 9:32.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 22 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. More of your calls on 011-883-0702. Your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702.
It's Mr. Rapela here. I really believe Ramaphosa. I'm not a fan of Ramaphosa, but this time I believe him because of when I checked the chap's age and the divorce happened some 43 years ago, and then you can just check that. It's impossible, or it's like you are not keeping track of your former wife's relatives, what's happening, unless you had that close relationship with them. But yeah, I really believe the president in this one, and then the way he said it, because I know that we've been encountered with him on the road, and we take pictures and everything. So yeah, I believe him.
Yeah, some people believe him, some people don't. I don't necessarily think the president is involved in the alleged, criminal acts of this chap. But yeah, him taking a walk in 2024 and then suddenly the guy. So here's the thing about houses like that. Like, it's not like you're sitting in your house and you can see who's passing by the street. That's not how it works. In fact, the walls are so high that the only time you ever come out of the house is when you're driving out or you are from wherever you're about to get into the house. So, but Maumela somehow came out of the house at the exact time the president was passing. Oh, unless maybe someone wrote on the group, the street group, if there's one, and said, oh, hey, the president is once again walking by. Yeah. So the president says this guy just came out and said, hey, my mom is actually here. And then the mom also came in a gown and president went towards the gate. Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of the time when knowing the Guptas was the biggest sin of them all. Remember when every time we even did interviews as the media, you ask politicians, people, you're like, have you met the Gupta family? Yeah, it was tough. But also, it's okay to also say, oh yeah, I know this chap. I've seen him here and there, but I am not involved in any of the stuff that he's done. I mean, it's the president who has signed the SIU proclamation that went after this chap, that investigated what happened in Tembisa and went after this chap. So that man is not being protected in any way. In fact, the president seems to want to see accountability here, given on the actions, on his actions, I should say. Let's go to some calls now. Kustas, you're calling us from Midrand. You say you're disappointed in Sibiya's testimony. Why? Good morning.
Morning, Clement. I want to send some love to Sibiya this morning and to tell him we don't hate him personally. Hey, I got a Clement, man. I'm very disappointed with his testimony. Hey, when we were waiting for Sibiya, okay, let's just say Sibiya's side to come and tell his side of the story. Clement, I was expecting something really big. Files coming up left and right, WhatsApp messages, this and that. The next thing when we get there, Sibiya is busy accusing Chris Excel of funding Mkhwanazi. He's going there by TikTok, by X, Facebook. So Sibiya can't even touch social media. I was disappointed.
But why did you expect files from him? Because he's not the one that made the allegations. He was there to defend himself against the allegations against him.
But remember, Clement, you have been consistent in saying, say, guys, these are two camps fighting. Some guys are going to come and say something about Mkhwanazi as well. We haven't heard any of that so far.
Yeah,
and
true.
I was thinking, Sibiya might be that guy. Because Sibiya is the one who came first. I can't be accused alone. I can't be accused alone. We were like, okay, let's wait. Which I appreciated you, Clement, when you said, guys, just hold on. Don't side Mkhwanazi for now. Wait until these pieces are fit together. Hey, nothing is fitting right now, Clement. When I claim it's a square and a round, and we're like, where is this going? Because it seems to me, Mkhwanazi came with files prepared in order. Sibiya, he came with nothing and hot air in Japan. So in short, I'm suggesting no. From what I'm hearing, no one is going to come and say anything about Mkhwanazi. Clearly, they have nothing on him. And that's an interesting part.
Yeah, who's this Chris Excel?
Chris Excel is the one who collected Imali and Komo.
Oh, right? So he's like a person from Twitter. Really? Who?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So he collected money to give Mkhwanazi Nkomo, and then he ended up going to the trust of police service.
Okay.
Because of the courage that Mkhwanazi showed.
Yeah.
Sibiya then goes to parliament and says, he's being funded by Chris Excel and them.
Yeah, and also I was disappointed that the members of parliament also didn't ask him for that evidence, because what does he mean funded by, unless what he meant was this guy has collected monies meant for the cow, unless that's what he means by funding. But yeah, to me, funding means something else. So I was hoping they ask him that. But here's where I differ slightly, Kustas. I do think that it's important for Sibiya to raise the issue, that issue, even on that platform, because it actually has been unhealthy, like the social media space, about how some people are taking on what General Mkhwanazi has said. I think it's been healthy in that there are things that get said about people that are not even true. Complete lies. And those things are narratives that are even pushed by the very same people who have chosen themselves as the proponents or the supporters of General Mkhwanazi. So it's important to point that out. I mean, I've seen the most ridiculous things, the most false of things being said about not just myself, but other journalists, just because you hold a different view. That is not healthy. In fact, that to me suggests that there's a whole agenda out there, right, where people are going to pay even bots to go and write false narratives about you just because you have held a different view that doesn't go with the rest of everybody else on Twitter. So that for me is a legitimate thing to raise. I mean, someone else mentioned Kathy Mutlahlani the other day, and then they were mentioning journalists out of nowhere just because certain journalists have written stories, which is fine if you believe that there's evidence that because Clement has differed with how Mkhwanazi responded to a journalist, and that means he's part of a drug cartel. Please take that to the cops. Let that be investigated. But to be throwing people's names like that on social media and suggesting that, I mean, quickly, Kustas, before you go, you know the funniest thing I heard 2 days ago? I called a relative of mine, right? And I didn't get permission to share the story, so I won't mention it. But I called a relative of mine because I'm supposed to meet this relative of mine. And this relative of mine says to me, oh my God, bro, I got a call from a friend who was sitting somewhere with their friends, and apparently they are questioning your rise in popularity because they're saying that nobody knew about who you are, and suddenly you are this important journalist. And these are people, by the way, who are accusing me of the rise because they're saying that because I've been in some instances against Mkhwanazi, then somehow I've been propped up at work, you know. But you see how crazy that thing is. I mean, you know my career. You followed my career. You know where I come from. So people lie like that. They lie just to say, this person was a nobody. He just came up and started being an important talk show host. Why? Because they're trying to push a narrative that there's something wrong with him. Why? Because he held a different view about this man. That's wild. And that's why I think on that basis, it's important to raise that on social media, because there is a campaign out there against other people, because you've got to just agree with one person. And as I've said before, that's not how I do my job. I do my job objectively. I don't care that who you think is a hero or who you love is a politician or whatever. I do it objectively. I'll disagree with them sometimes. I'll agree with them sometimes. And so are you. Welcome to do the same. It's 12 minutes now before 10 o'clock. We're going to go to some more calls and WhatsApps after the break.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
9 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Morning, Clement. It's Papa here from Lenesia. Clement, this Sibiya guy, I should not make sure. Yesterday, when they asked him question, he doesn't answer the questions. He doesn't at all. They asked him, from what Mkhwanazi has said, which ones are the truth and which one are the lies? Did he answer that? No. He was beating around the bush. You, South Africa, I say, thank you. Great Chopra. Papa from Lenesia.
Yeah, Papa. You know, sometimes he wasn't also answering the questions. I mean, there was a time he was asked about whether he failed a competency test. And he was like, Okay, we have to find that clip. Yeah, Abel, let's find that clip. But, and then he says, I wouldn't say failed it. I would say it wasn't positive. And then the guy says, I mean, it's a competency test. Did you fail it or did you pass it? And he says, okay, I passed it. I mean, and then he says, okay, I failed it. But he had to be pushed. In fact, Abel has found that clip. Take a listen to how he responded to this question.
It is the letter that was written by Ubrink speaking about you not passing a competency assessment report. Did you do a competency assessment and did you pass it or you didn't pass it? Why pass and why fail?
Well, I don't. It doesn't say you failed it like it's a it's like whether you passed. What do you call it? Let me say it was not positive.
Why pass and why fail?
Okay, let me say I fail.
Okay.
I mean, at some point they asked, why are you guys disbanding the political killings task team? And then he says, well, because the instruction comes from commissioner, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I get that. But before you disband the task team, surely you have to get a report first and look at, okay, how has this task team done its work before you make a decision? But he was going all around as opposed to answer the question, because that then means even you as the Deputy National Commissioner, you were busy pushing ahead with a decision that you yourself knew was one, unlawful because it's coming from a minister who shouldn't have anything to do with operational issues of the SAPS. But two, you knew clearly that it is wrong because the basis for which this task team is being disbanded is very flawed. You don't just wake up and you disband it and then your reasoning is, yeah, but it wasn't meant to be permanent in the first place.
Now, the question is, do you see it appropriate to disband a structure without asking for a report from the project manager? General? No, I'm not stuck. I'm just saying, if the question is, do you see it appropriate without requesting for a report from the... No, I can repeat for you. No, I hear what you say. The answer is very simple. The instruction as it came from the National Commissioner, it said, prepare a close-up report, communicate the same to the team, and prepare a close-up report. No, General, that's why I wanted to repeat for you, because we are not answering my question. Prepare for a close-out report is in a letter that disbands a task team. I am talking about a process that was supposed to unfold before the disbandment was effected. Do you see it appropriate to disband a structure without getting a report before you disband from a person who was tasked to be a project manager? Chair, please protect me because I'm going to answer the same question.
Yeah, then he goes on to answer the same question. But, oh my goodness. I'm so impressed also with some of the questions that came from the MPs. This MP is from the MK party. I think he has been sharp throughout. The other one who was sharp yesterday was Mr. Qola. He is the chair, in fact, of the Justice Committee. He was on fire. And then you've got other MPs who are just like, what are we doing here? Some of the questions they're asking are not getting us anywhere. Spamandla, you are calling from Cape Town. What are your thoughts? Hi.
Yes, Clement, how are you?
Hey, Tsara.
Good, man. Okay, so you are tackling three topics this morning that are quite interesting about the country. The first one, obviously, that will be Bafana Bafana win.
Yeah,
so
the Pirates win, in other words.
Who's into vaccines? So that was good. That is good. So we celebrate Pirates. and obviously Bafana Bafana.
Yeah.
But another topic that you are tackling this morning is about Cyril Ramaphosa, which is our president. What is interesting there, I don't think it's an issue of him knowing or not knowing Maumela. It's more of the first response or what was said, that is, if he doesn't know, because I think we can take away from the previous responses that he didn't know, Maumela. And when it comes with these explanations, then it leads us to ask why didn't
they say this? Even with Vincent Magwenya's Pamandla, when he had a briefing, why didn't he say, oh, by the way, in 2024, the president did have an encounter with this guy?
Exactly.
You see, now it makes us question things, even when maybe they're being truthful, because there's just hasn't been consistency.
You see, that's the thing. That's why now it's making us probably to dig deeper, wanting to know more. I mean, that's the thing. But then now, coming to the parliament issue, probing into police services. What is interesting about General Sibiya answering was, I was kind of like expecting that he will come, because other commissioners basically accused him of being part of disbanding the political killing task team. But now, when it comes through, he doesn't actually, come with support that say, okay, no, I didn't do this. And the main reason I'm doing this, it was because of A, B, and C. When he does, he says that he got letters from the National Commission, but he's not getting a signature or any letter that he can actually show coming from the National Commissioner with his signature, instructing him to actually carry out whatever that he said he carried out. Another thing that was quite interesting was the question from the MP, where he was asking what were the procedures that were taken before the actual letter that was sent by the minister. You see, they got really very evasive, and later when the senior counsel also asked, where is the minutes of the meeting that you say, this thing was discussed before the letter? You could see that there's nothing, but he also only have notes in his book.
Yeah, got it. Spamandla in Cape Town. We got that. Thank you so much for your thoughts. McIntyre says, Clement, good morning. Watching you on YouTube, where did you buy your top? Well, it's Scotch and Soda, my friend. I forget sometimes that we're on YouTube, so things like this then remind me of that. But yeah, Scotch and Soda is where I got this top. McIntyre, thank you for watching there on YouTube. It's a minute now before 10 o'clock.